Section 10.2, parabolas. So we introduced parabola, the shape of a parabola. What is a parabola? So a parabola, it's basically, let's take a shape like this. There's a point here and a line here. A horizontal line, call it line D. So the parabola is defined as the set of points. If you take any point and connect this to that point and to the line, or a point here, or a point even here, or a point even here, even there. So these points, if you connect them, you get this like a U-shaped thing. That's called the parabola. So the parabola is defined as the set of points, so any point x, y. Equidistant from a point called F is called the focus, and a line called the directrix. Directrix. So this distance same as this distance same as this same as this, and this same as this. Doesn't look exactly the same, it's not drawn to scale, but that's what the definition of the parabola. So if it happened, you just start with a point and a line, and then find all the points that are equidistant from that point and the line, and connect them, you get the parabola. So now from that one, what we do, this point down here in the middle, this has coordinates h comma k, that's called the vertex of the parabola, h comma k. That's like the middle point. So if we go through using distance formula from any point xy to the focus and to the directrix and set them equal to each other, we are going to get this equation first, x minus h squared 4a times y minus k. Let me redraw it, what this means. What is a? A can be positive or negative. A can be positive. It's a number, a real number that can be either positive or negative. If it's positive, this means the parabola is going to open upward. So notice how the square on the top of the x part. So just keep in mind y equals x squared. I'm sure everyone knows how y equals x squared looks like. It opens upward. So y equals x squared. So x squared is going to open up this way if a is positive. And remember I said the focus here and the directrix down there. The vertex is always the midpoint, halfway. This distance from here to here is absolute value of a. From here to here, just in case if a is negative, that's the absolute value of a. Now if a is negative, then the parabola is going to open downward like that. The parabola opens downward. The vertex stays the same. Now the directrix is outside and the focus always inside the parabola, always inside the parabola. These distances are the same, 90 degrees. This is the distance, absolute value of a, absolute value of a. So this is the first measure case. If it has x squared, it's going to open either up or down depending if a is positive or negative. And the next one is, we're going to see later when it opens to the right or to the left, what happens in this case. But for the meantime, that's what we have. That's what we have for the meantime. Let's look at an example. So what we need here, just so you know, k is always the coordinates of the vertex. H goes with x and k with y. So do you see how y minus k, x minus h, they always go this way. The focus always inside the parabola, not outside. So what we do, let's say analyze, ask it this way, analyze x minus 2 squared equals 4 times y minus 3. So this looks like it's x minus h squared 4a y minus k. So from here we can find the vertex. H is 2 and k is 3. That's the vertex. Right away, that's the first thing. Another thing we can find, the 4a equals 4, so a is 1. 4a equals 4, a is 1. Now we got A, we got the vertex. In this section, and then all the conic sections, just keep in mind one thing I use that helps me solve a lot of questions is plot the given. Plot the given. So analyze means we are trying to find all the information we can about this. We found the vertex and A. We need to find the focus and the directrix. So let's see how we do that. So I'm going to plot the given. So I'm going to draw the xy plane like so. 0, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. That's the focus, the vertex. Notice it's the square on the x, like that. So it's going to either open up or down. A is positive, so that tells me it's going to open up. So I'm going to just sketch a random thing for this. That's V. Okay, remember A is the distance from the vertex to the focus. So you're going to go up 1 unit only. Okay, up 1 unit. So the focus now, but from the graph I can see it's 2, 4. And you want to go down 1 unit, so that's the directrix. So the directrix has the equation y equals 2. Directrix y equals 2. That's what we really need to know. Focus, directrix, vertex, equation of the parabola, and the A distance. Now what about the other form? The other form, instead of x minus h, it would be y minus k squared equals 4a times x minus h. Like that. So always x and h attached together, yk together. 4a stays the same with the non-square term. This is the non-square term. So how does that look like? Well, it depends on a, if a is positive or a is negative. So if a positive or negative. So let's see. If a positive, the parabola is going to open to the right side. A negative is going to open to the left side. That's the vertex, always h comma k. Vertex, always h comma k. Focus inside the parabola at all times. Focus inside the parabola. If you move this way, same distance, which is the absolute value of A, you get the directrix, which is a vertical line. If you move the same thing this way, that way, you get the directrix. Absolute value of A, absolute value of A. Okay, so these are the next two cases, or the next big case, and get two subcases. So what about if they ask us to analyze something like y squared minus 4y plus 4x plus 4 equals to 0? Notice it's not written like y minus something square or x minus something square. So this means we have to do that work, the extra work, which we call completing the square. So we keep the y's here as is, the x's as is for now, equals 0. What we need to do to complete the square on the y, because that's where the square is, not on the x, just the y. You take that number, negative 4, you divide it by 2, you get negative 2. Square it, that gives us 4. So this means we're going to add 4 here and 4 to the other side. So let's see what we get for this. That's a y minus 2 squared. 4x plus 4 equals 4. But remember how the equation always looked like. Is something square equals something. So I'm going to subtract 4x on both sides and also subtract 4 on both sides. These cancel out. So this can be rewritten as negative 4 times x minus 0. So this is the h, this is the k. So the vertex is h comma k. And also we got negative 4 equals 4a. So a is negative 1 here. A is negative 1. So now how do we move forward with this? Sketch or plot the given, the stuff we found so far. xy 0, 1, 2, that's the vertex. And it starts with y squared. So the y squared tells me either right or left. but depending on A is negative, so that's going to mean to the left. So it's going to go like this. That's a rough sketch. So we got the vertex. If I move 1 unit to the inside, because A is 1, then the focus would be -1, 2. If you move 1 unit to the right, you get the vertex. X equals 1 is the, not vertex, directrix. So we got the directrix, the focus, the vertex, and we sketched the graph. That's all we need to know here. Now what about if they do it backwards? They ask us to find the equation of the parabola with given conditions. Let's say the focus is 0, 3 and vertex 0, 0. The easiest way to graph or find equations is to plot the given on the graph. The xy plane, 0, 0 is the vertex and 0, 3 is the focus. So the graph would look like this. So this tells me that A is 3, right? A is 3, this distance-wise. Is it positive or negative? Well, it opens up means it's positive. If it opens down, it's negative. So that's A. And remember, it's x minus h squared because it opens up. 4a y minus k. So this is hk. X minus 0 squared. 4 times 3 y minus 0. X squared equals 12y. Next one, let's look at another example. Focus is 0, 1. Directrix y equals 1. Again, plot the given is the easiest way or the easiest tool to help us solve this. 0, 1, that's the focus. Y equals 1. No, that doesn't work. Let's make it -1. -1 here. 0, -1. Y equals 1 is a horizontal line that goes through 1. So this means halfway between them is the vertex. So this means the vertex has coordinates 0, 0. That gives me h and k. And it has to open downward because the focus must be inside it. So A, the distance A is 1. This means A is -1 here because it opens downward. Not just 1, but -1. Up or down is x minus h squared equals 4a times y minus k. H is 0, a -1, k 0. So that gives us x squared equals -4y. 3, focus, 2, 4, directrix, x equals -4. Now let's plot the given. X, y. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the focus. Directrix 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a -4. So now to see where the vertex is halfway between these two. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. 1, 2, 3. So that would be somewhere here. So halfway between them. So the vertex has coordinates -1, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the vertex. So that gives me h, k. Now sketching a graph will help because the focus must be inside. So notice how it's opening to the right side. To the right means it's going to start with the y square, 4a times x minus h. So I have h and k, we need a. A is the distance from here to here, 1, 2, 3. So a is 3, same thing, that's a 3 units. And a should be positive because it opens to the right. right positive, left negative. So all we have to do is substitute y minus k is 4. 4 times 3, x minus negative 1. Y minus 4 squared, 12 times x plus 1. That's the equation of the parabola. So, as you can see, they can ask you to analyze, like find all the stuff, or they can ask you to find the equation of the parabola based on some information. They either give you focus directrix, or they give you focus vertex, or vertex directrix. These are the cases. Or sometimes they can graph it for us, and then they plot things on the parabola, like they plot the given the vertex and focus, and from the graph you can get exactly how we got this, which would be actually easier than the one we just did. And then from there you just have to find the equation of the parabola.